Hello, and welcome to the annual general meeting for Oaktree Retirement Village, Kanwal. My name is Nick, and I am one of the financial accountants that look after the villages here at Oaktree. As noted in the AGM packs previously provided to you, due to the impact of COVID-19 and the various travel restrictions, we have unfortunately had to deliver the AGMs for FY21 through video. The format of this recording will be the same as one delivered in person, and we will be following the agenda that was outlined to you in the notice of meeting. Prior to working through the agenda, we will go over the annual meeting guidance, which provides a refresher of the different types of funds. So if you're following along, this is Annexure 1. So the first account is the village account. Residents fund this through the recurrent charge, and it covers all village expenses such as wages, rates, water, electricity, insurance, gardening, community centre amenities, and the like. It also provides funds for the quantity surveyor report, which provides guidance over 10 years. There is a site visit every 3 years, and it is updated in the alternating 2 years. Moving through to the Capital Works Fund. So the residents also fund this through the recurrent charge, and it covers all village preventative maintenance and ad hoc general activities in the village. It essentially acts like a sinking fund does in a normal body corporate. Examples of this include gate repairs, oven repairs, termite pest control, garden mulching and painting. Lastly, there is the capital replacement, and just noting here that Oaktree funds all the replacement of all capital items in the village as per the legislation. So moving through to agenda point 1. So note here that in the current year, the auditors BDO believe that the accounts are fairly represented as of the 30th of June 2021. So moving through, the village expenditure was $44,374 under budget, and we will go through the overs and unders that make this up. So the first one, management services. This line includes expenses such as wages, bank fees. This has come in $8,883 over budget, and this is predominantly due to the annual leave expense, which is not allocated in the budget, and this will build up over time and then be offset when the manager takes leave. Additional expenses due to the allocation of time for the village manager to drive the bus, which was not allocated out as there currently was not a bus yet. Moving through to the community centre services and amenities. So this line includes costs such as community centre cleaning, amenities, as well as computer, telephone and internet costs. This is coming under budget by $6,584, and this is predominantly due to a low level of telephone, internet and computer costs, as well as less cleaning of the community centre. And this is just due to less use owing to the impact of COVID-19 lockdowns. Moving through to gardening services and general maintenance. So this is coming over budget by $10,688, and this is predominantly due to an increased expense for gardening services, which was over budget by $16,000. This is due to a greater anticipated scope of work. However, this was offset by savings in repairs and maintenance, with these areas needing less labour and materials than forecast. Moving through to motor vehicles. So this includes the cost for a village bus, i.e. the bus lease, fuel, registration, maintenance and all running costs. This was under budget by $9,881, and this is just due to there being no bus for the village in the current financial year. The provision is made in the budget so that when the bus does arrive for the village, there are no extra costs to the residents, and I do note that the bus should have been delivered sometime around this AGM meeting. So moving through to electricity. This was $9,420 under budget, and this is directly due to actual consumption, which is far lower than being forecast. So just a note here on why that occurred. Given that Kanwal is a new village, and then in order to estimate the budget for electricity, we have used a similar village that's in a similar location and size. However, whilst the village is in the first few years of operations, the actuals can vary as trends are established. Moving through to compliance activity, this was $3,045 under budget, and this is just due to the scope of work being smaller than what was originally anticipated due to the number of villas. Insurance. The insurance spend came in $6,287 over budget, and just to note that this is a cost that Oaktree cannot control. Each year at renewal time, Oaktree will test the market and go to a number of underwriters to see if we can get the most competitive price whilst maintaining adequate level of coverage. We've begun seeing these premiums rise across the board and work has begun at an industry level to help stem the costs. So moving through to occupancy costs, these are 28,478 under budget, and this is primarily due to rates. So the rates are under budget as it was anticipated that the land value would rise and the rate charged as well. However, this did not eventuate. Further, the actual water usage was higher than budgeted. The service charge was lower, which resulted in a net benefit to the budget. An additional savings occurred due to sewerage costs due to differences in the connections and the way that they were charged. And lastly, the Capital Works Fund. Noting that this expense relates to funding from your weekly fees, which goes towards the capital works, and it's based on the weekly fees paid by the residents. Given that the total contributions came in under budget, this will also come in under budget. So that's the village expenditure. Moving down through to the CWF. So noting that this was $3,810 under budget for the year, and this is predominantly due to the next factors. Bowling Green, and this was $1,140 under budget, and this was due to just being there no work needed. And this is reasonable given the age of the village. Nextly, roof and gutter, and this was $1,321 under budget. Again, this was primarily due to not needing the work across all villages given the age. Only a small number of villages needed cleaning. And lastly, the bank account of the CWF as of the 30th of June was $1,701. So that's an explanation of all the material variances to budget, and working through the rest of the agenda points. Point number 2, any changes to the proposed 2021 annual budget that did not require the residents' consent, there were no changes. Any proposals for capital works that were not notified in the 2022 budget, there are no changes and we will follow the works plan as forecast. For any other items including proposed maintenance plan, there are no proposed changes to the maintenance plan. 5, future plans for the village, including any proposed improvements. Currently, there are no proposed changes for the future of the village. 6, any change or proposed change to the management of the village. There are no proposed changes. Oak Tree will remain the operator. 7, any proposed changes to the level of service provided to the residents. There are no proposed changes. 8, any safety issues. As of the date of recording this video, there were no safety issues that we are aware of that need to be notified. And lastly, 9, question time for queries lodged in advance. As of the date of recording this video, there were no questions lodged in advance. However, what we invite you to do is after this meeting is to reread the packs and the financials provided to you. And if there are any questions that you have, please submit them to your village manager in writing no later than 7 days after the date of this meeting. The village manager will then provide these to finance, and we will send out detailed meeting minutes with answers to all residents. With that, I'll call this to a close and thank you very much for watching the AGM for 2021.